I really, really like cars. There's a bloke who, I've forgotten his name, who races a C-Type Jaguar over here, and it is the scruffiest thing you've ever seen. I mean, it's worth millions. But every fight it's ever had and every racetrack it's ever had, it's been on in its 60 odd year career, they're all still on there. But the thing is driven so well, and under the bonnet, it is in such great condition. That to me is the perfect car. As long as it drives properly, I'd just much rather it looked, it just looked like, because the bodywork with these cars, they kind of tell a story, don't they?
Yeah.
And you look at them.
My favorite are gull wings. You see, gull wings with patina somehow are just
but there are so
best.
few of them. I did the Mille Miglia in one a few years back, and there must have been, I don't know, 20, 30 gull wings on there, and they were all perfect. I mean, and that's the problem. You get this. You get these restorations where the cars come out better than they would ever have been when they were new, and they lose something. They become, they might become an art form or something else, but some of the charm goes with them, I think.
Well, my friends here in the States, they call them over restored. The car that is beyond what was available from the factory. Yeah. And that's why I think, they like to buy the low mile stuff or the survivor stuff, the one of the two, those. Yeah. We just had a gull wing come through here at West Side that had duct tape on the fender. I mean, it was fabulous. It was like, and you started it up and it sounded like the pits Le Mans. I mean, it must have had a hole in the muffler or something because it was a little louder than I think it was probably supposed to be, but it sounded awesome and it fired right up and it was easy to drive. I drove it 3 blocks onto the trailer, but it engaged right away. And those cars, like a gull wing, you could daily drive a gull wing.
Oh geez, I mean they're so good. I mean when I did the Mille Miglia, this was kind of like in a Mercedes provided car, so it was perfect. And I did this thing, and I felt like a complete fraud by the end of it because it's just too good. You see all these poor sods in their, in their old contraptions battling into, arriving at time checks just as you're leaving. Having sat down, had your coffee and your meal, and they're still out on the road, and you're getting in this thing. And it's going down the road at 110, 120 miles an hour, just like a modern car. And you're sitting there thinking, I'm actually not making any. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was going to do it again, I'd want to do it in something old and slow. I'd like to do it in a 1920s Bentley or something.
Yeah.
Because then there wouldn't be any pressure to go fast or keep up, because at the front of that event, it's just a bit crazy. What you particularly get on that event is you get these really, really fast cars, the sort of 50s racing Ferraris and Maseratis. But the problem is their support crews, because you've got these really rich guys in these really amazing cars, and they say to their team, okay, your job, in your hired SUV from, Milan Airport is to keep up with me. Because if I got a problem, you need to be there. If I got a problem,
you need to be right there, right?
Yeah,
then.
Exactly. Yeah. So you get these guys in their 250 Mille Miglia Ferrari, go boom, but right behind them there's a bloke in a Toyota Previa, and it's just so that's kind of it. But down the other end, with the Bentleys and the Bugattis and the Alphas, it just doesn't matter. So
that's such an interesting perspective. Yeah, the cruise, it's like a group race. That's where
the danger is. I mean, I saw some pretty crazy overtaking on that event, but most of it was by support crews, not the real thing.
Yeah, how interesting. I know some guys who've done like Gumball and then the Mille, and they basically say it's the same thing. One is just like, because the cars are more valuable, they just let you get away with more, but they're basically the same thing. You just dress a little different.
Yeah, and people just get carried away. And also on Mille, when the police, they don't just let you get away with it, they collude with you. They actively try to get you to go faster. And if you're not kind of keeping up, they will tell you. And
you can't trust a Sicilian police officer.
But you could just see how let's be frank about this. There are big accidents on those things, and you can see how they happen. People are really tired. They've been on the road for days. They're going really fast, and if however tired they are, their cars will probably get even more tired. And these drum brakes and the passes that you get at the end, and problems happen. But great event.
Yeah, what kind of seat time are you looking at? It's like a 12-hour driving day, right?
So the last time I did it, for whatever reason, Mercedes would only assure me to drive the car, so I couldn't even share the driving with somebody else.
Oh God!
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'll drive it. Yeah, yeah. I guess
no, it's just exhausting.
Yeah,
it sounds absolutely exhausting.
You're doing at least that. Yeah, and it's 12 hours, not 1 mile, which is on any kind of motorway, and and all the time you're going fast.
Wow.
Hey,
it sounds intense. I mean, frankly, it sounds very intense.
When I finished the line, I turned to him and I said, "What's your feeling right now?" As we went over the line, he went, "Relief that it was over and that we're in one piece." Not, "Wow, that was an amazing experience," which it was. That came later, but at the time, it was just, "Thank fuck for that we haven't screwed it up." And we can give this car back, and it's in the right number of bits. And
well, irreplaceable car, or at least historically significant, if not irreplaceable. But even that reaction, though, back in the day when I was doing this silly, road rallies that were road lifestyle rallies that are just basically endurance street races, they were real fun when I was 25. But when you finish, it's the same thing. You go, nobody killed anybody. No, nobody. Nothing horrible happened. Like, okay, now it's and after a while you're like, should we be doing that?
That's what I felt.